Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto Multiverse 2.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto Married with All Old Women Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Naruto shot out of his bed like a man possessed as he gathered his scattered clothes from the floor. He was already 30 minutes late to class and he promised Iruka that he wouldn't skip anymore. Well, try not to. He did have an excuse. He was up late studying how to complete his one crutch in the academy, the dreaded Bunshin no Jutsu. He still couldn't produce more than 2 solid clones. He struggled as he jumped out the window and landed on the rooftop across from his apartment. He quickly scurried across the rooftops as he fought to put his clothes on. He managed to put his white undershirt and orange jumpsuit as he approached an alleyway in a full sprint. He began to pull his pants on when he tripped. He looked down and cursed silently to himself as he fell. Naruto began to yell as he fell towards the ground of the alleyway. There was a brief point of bliss and Naruto then felt like he shot forward quicker. Naruto closed his eyes as he almost hit the ground and collided with something soft and caused a scream of protest. Naruto opened his eyes and noticed that he was sprawled over Mizuki-sensei who groaned in protest. Naruto looked around and was caught in the most confusing and embarrassing situation he's ever been in. He was laying on his teacher with his pants halfway pulled up in front of his entire class. There was an eep, and Hinata passed out from what looked like blood lost in the back row, but it went unnoticed by the blonde. Naruto! Screamed a banshee with pink hair, causing the blonde to scamper to his feet. Naruto, now fully dressed, turned to a stunned Iruka who was staring at him with a raised eyebrow. Naruto, please take your seat, Iruka said as he shook his head. Naruto, see me after the first test. Come on, Iruka-sensei, Naruto complained as he trudged his way back to his seat. His head still swarming over how he got here. He didn't even notice that his test was given to him by limping Mizuki as he grumbled about stupid brats. Naruto looked up to see Iruka's eyes not leaving Naruto's as if he was studying him. Naruto turned and his head towards his test and started to sweat. This was going to be a very confusing day. Naruto, Iruka started as it was just him and Naruto left in the class. Naruto bombed the test, he knew it, but he had other things on his mind. We need to see the Hokage, I think you have some explaining to do. What do you mean? Naruto asked as he stood looking stressed. You just appeared in my classroom, Iruka said with a raised eyebrow. And I know it wasn't a prank because I would have sensed you coming. I think you may have stumbled onto something that isn't so simple to explain. Come on, you're excused for the rest of the day. But I need all the help I can get with the big test only 2 months away, Naruto complained out loud. If I don't train I will never become a shinobi, which means I can't take that hat from Gigi. Naruto, I think that this might be more helpful than you think, Iruka said with a smirk. Now let's get to the Hokage. They arrived at the Hokage tower in record time. Naruto couldn't believe that Iruka was so worked up over this. Well, granted, he felt a bit off about the situation. He wasn't even halfway to the school when he suddenly appeared in the classroom. Naruto still couldn't explain it to himself. How is going to be able to explain it to Gigi? Naruto looked up as the Hokage steadily puffed on his pipe as he listened to Iruka finish what he was saying. Naruto could have kicked himself for ignoring what Iruka said, so he decided to tune back in. And that's why I believe that we should test him as soon as possible in case my assumption was correct, Iruka concluded as he turned to Naruto who was staring at him with a glazed look. Is that what his eyes looked like when he appeared in your class? The Hokage asked with a slight grin, knowing that Naruto was lost to his own thoughts. No sir, Iruka huffed as he slapped the back of Naruto's head, who let out a whisper of curses. His eyes had a milky silver to them. They almost looked like pools of mercury. Interesting, the Hokage said as he looked down at Naruto. Naruto, I know your chakra control is lacking, but I want you to try something. Sure Gigi, Naruto said, now paying complete attention. Focus chakra into your eyes, he said with a smirk. Naruto looked at him confused and then made a small cross sign that he used to help with his concentration on chakra. Then the amazing happened. His eyes turned quickly to the pools of liquid mercury. They looked truly beautiful in color and seemed to be swirling slowly. I don't believe it, Iruka said, a bit flabbergasted. Naruto, now that you have the concentration, please move to behind my desk, Hokage said with a steady puff on his pipe, not taking his eyes off of Naruto. Naruto raised an eyebrow and took one step forward, but the Hokage held up a hand. Without moving. How am I supposed to do that? Naruto yelled in protest. Just do it, Naruto, Hokage said in a serious tone. Naruto sighed and stared at the window behind Gigi. Naruto slowly felt the same blissful feeling and soon found himself smashing into the window and falling on his butt. Naruto turned and rubbed his nose as his eyes returned to normal. The Hokage started to laugh as he turned towards Naruto. I don't believe it. Amazing, Iruka said as he sat down dumbstruck. He just teleported. This is amazing, Naruto shouted as he stood up. His eyes changed back to the silver mercury color and he poofed out and back in behind Iruka, stumbling but still managed to stay on his feet. I have a dujutsu. Yes, it would seem like that way, the Hokage said standing as he leaned forward. Naruto, I hate to say it, but you will be pulled from the academy for the next 2 months. You will be training with an appointed sensei during that time to get a firmer grip on your new dujutsu. Hokage-sama, Iruka interrupted as he stood up. I've never seen or heard of a dujutsu like this. This couldn't be hereditary. You are quite right, the Hokage said as he watched the energetic blonde, poof, around his office with better control. But like all dujutsu, they are just mutations that lay dormant till the time is right. Now Naruto, the Hokage said, become serious once again. You are not to show anyone till you become a genin. Is that understood? Ah, Gigi, come on, this is too cool to keep locked down, Naruto said as he appeared in front of him, but one glare from the Hokage made Naruto gulp and agree. Now you will meet your new sensei at training ground 10 at 6, the Hokage said as he took out a scroll and started to write on it. After your 2 months you will return the academy and be placed on a genin team. Naruto, take your training seriously. When do I ever not take training seriously? Naruto asked as he poofed and appeared next to the Hokage and enveloped him in a hug. Thanks, Gigi. Naruto arrived at training ground 10 early. He didn't want to be late to meet his new sensei and get off on the wrong footing. Naruto walked to the middle of the clearing and looked around. It was a smaller training ground with one large post with several projections coming out of it. Naruto walked up to the post, leaned against it waiting for his sensei. A whistling sound caught his attention as he ducked in the nick of time to miss being a pin cushion from a handful of senbon. What the hell? Naruto yelled as he turned towards the woods to see Iruka looking back with a smirk. Nice dodging, Iruka said as he walked closer. Since your bloodline is so different, we decided that you will have different senseis till then end of your training period. Okay, Naruto said as he grabbed the handful of metallic needles out of the post and waved them threateningly towards Iruka. Why did you try to kill me? You were fine, Iruka said, waving him off with a slight grin. You heard it coming from a mile away. Besides, I thought you would have teleported out of the way. Naruto started, but Iruka cut him off. I have devised a starting style of fighting that will do you well, Iruka said with a smirk. Now it is new and no one has the ability to do this fighting without suffering severe chakra depletion, but you are a special case. Cause of my bamfing ability, Naruto said with a smirk, causing Iruka to raise an eyebrow. Bamfing? Iruka asked but shook his head and tossed him what looked like a black and orange pair of gloves. I had these made for you, so try them on and let's see if they can work into this style. Wow! Naruto yelled as he pulled on the gloves. The gloves were all black but had orange flames engulfing the glove starting from the fingerless holes. The knuckles had a studded metal plate with deadly-looking orange metal spikes, about half an inch in length. Naruto's eyes lit up when he finally had them on. Thank you, Iruka ni-san. Glad you like them, Iruka said as he rubbed Naruto's hair. Now this is the style. I think you will like this. Outside in the surrounding trees stood a gallery of Kohona's shinobi. The Hokage stood in the middle next to the Hyuga clan head. Hiyashi stood with his standard unreadable expression on his face as he watched the blonde kid nod his head in understanding of what Iruka was teaching him. Hokage smirked as he saw the clan head activate his bloodline to watch as Naruto teleported in front of the training post. His eyes widened a bit in shock. He completely disappeared, he said in a shocked tone. It's impossible. Even when one uses the Shunshin we can still track him, but... Amazing, Asuma said as he watched Naruto pop in and out around the post, striking every time. With this he can really lay a beat down on people. coming from all angles without a way to track. Who knew Iruka-kun could come up with such a cool style, said the snake mistress as she licked her lips. Just makes me want him more. Down Anko, Kurenai said as she slapped the back of her head. You know you will never get him if you keep attacking him like he's your prey or something. The chase is half the fun, plus maybe you should try it, Anko said with a sly smirk. Then added, as if an afterthought, right Asuma-kun. He seems to finally got his footing down, Kakashi said as he turned the page in his book not even looking up, Asuma choking in the background as Kurenai rubbed his back. Everyone's sweat dropped wondering how he could even be watching. Most youthful, Guy yelled as he gave a blinding smile. He seems to be progressing well. Needs extreme training in hand-to-hand combat if he wants to keep up with this style. Right again Guy, said the older Sarutobi said as he puffed on his pipe with a grin. He may need a week or two with you alone to get his strength up. His punches lack power, and that can be an easy fix. I will be honored to help him brighten his flames of youth. Guy yelled as he gave his nice guy pose. I feel sorry for the kid, Kakashi said with another turn of his page, causing others to nod it in agreement. His main problem is his strength and taijutsu. He seems to have hit a new speed, Shikaku said as they watched Naruto phase in and out, but something was different. He was leaving behind an exact copy of himself that wisped away into smoke after a second. This effect was further confusing the bystanders as they couldn't see the real Naruto who was still pounding the post with renewed vigor. Then there was an audible snap and the post went flying. Naruto stood drenched in sweat and panting heavily. That was great, Iruka yelled as slapped a hand on his shoulder causing the blonde to stumble forward a bit. You really are improving. Did you see what happened when I bamfed quickly? Naruto said as he sat down next to the shattered post, his eyes changing back to their electric blue. I left like a smoky copy of me. That will further come into handy with this style Naruto, he said with a smirk. You can feint your attacks and cause further confusion among your enemies. I can see how that can be helpful, Naruto said as the gears started to turn in his head. We may need another post Iruka-ni-san. Too right you are, Iruka said as he looked at the remains of the shattered post. Since you ruined that post. Now on to phase 2, strength training. Right, Naruto said as he took off his orange jacket and reviled and tattered black undershirt with an orange swirl in the middle. What do we have to do? First we need to increase your weight, Iruka said as he reached out and took Naruto's gloved hands. His hands glowed in blue for a moment, then a seal became visible and the number moved from 3 to 15. Iruka let go and Naruto's hands fell to his side and his face looked slightly strained. You now have 15 extra pounds on each hand, Iruka said as he watched Naruto move his hands sluggishly. His entire arms moved slowly for that reason. You have the speed but you're lacking in power and to be honest. Style. Naruto looked at him confused. You mean taijutsu? No, I mean flair, Iruka said with a smirk. With your technique, you will need to reinvent taijutsu. Make your own style that fits your fighting techniques. That means you need some sort of style, flair, or confidence. I'm not lacking in any of those. Naruto yelled as he started to go through different katas that he learned at the academy. His arms moving slowly due to the extra weight. Sure, if you think having the style and thinking a rock, Iruka said. Look at the Hokages. They each had a certain style that set them apart. Your style is ability close to the Yondaime Hokage. He had it, now you need to find a way to make yours. Remember that and you will come up with something world-changing. Now I want you come at me with everything you got. You sure? Naruto asked with a relit fire in his eyes. The speech awoke something that might turn out painful for Iruka, but this was a necessary step for Naruto to reach his true potential. Scared? Iruka asked with a cocky smirk as he heard Naruto, as he put it so much, bamf, behind him. Iruka spun and slapped away Naruto's fist, but was surprised when his hand passed through the punch with a wisp trail following Iruka's block. Iruka, thinking quick, mule kicked backwards and connected with Naruto who stumbled back. How is it when the post hits back? Iruka asked. Naruto smirked and rubbed his chest, then dissolved into smoke and they started again. His style keeps changing, Asuma said as Guy nodded with agreement. They had been watching the spar for about an hour now. He seems to be honestly trying to find his own taijutsu, huh? His style is more blunt than finesse, Kakashi said as he actually looked up. Blunt as an attacked hammer, Anko said as she watched Iruka and Naruto stop for a second. Iruka and Naruto laughed as Iruka removed his vest and long-sleeved t-shirt. He was wearing tight fishnet shirt now and smirked down at Naruto, who was bouncing on his feet ready for round 2. Anko went to jump after Iruka, but was knocked down effectively by Kurenai. This is true, the Hokage said as he continued to puff away. He needs to take Iruka's advice and find a common balance. If he doesn't, then he will just be a street thug brawler. Hokage-sama, Guy said as he looked over at him. I mean this with no ill intent towards your acute observation. But that is the true beauty of Naruto's fighting. It's so interchangeable that he will never have a rhythm. That is the true key to being an ultimate taijutsu fighter. He can't be timed, for he has no pattern in his fighting. Iruka is practically guessing where the next attack is coming from, because Naruto isn't using any of the standardized taijutsu stances. This is his true brilliance, and with fine-tuning he will become unstoppable. You bring up a good point, the old Sarutobi said as he took his pipe out of his mouth. Then an evil grin spread across his face. What if he was given a small weapon? After receiving several death glares and loud outburst at the idea, the Hokage admitted defeat and the weapon idea was put on the back burner as they continued to watch Iruka and Naruto spar. They were at it for almost 3 hours straight when they stood facing each other, drenched in sweat and panting heavily. Naruto's eyes were fading back to blue and he looked about ready to pass out while Iruka looked none the fairer. He was bleeding from several scratches and one bad punch that landed on his shoulder. Iruka stood out of his defensive stance and nodded to Naruto, who fell backwards and passed out. Iruka sighed as he fell back and landed on his back as well. He heard the sound of the Hokage and his gallery approach him. Looked back to see the Hokage smirking at the tired Chunin. He took you for a few rounds, huh? Kakashi asked as he put his book away and smiled. Iruka smirked back, waiting for the usual bantering. You must be getting rusty there. All that paper grading must be taking its toll. Kakashi, he was defensive the entire time, Guy said, missing the joke completely. He did exceptionally well. Thank you, Guy-san, Iruka said with a chuckle. But I still feel like I was hit by a bus. He was wearing weights and still managed to land a couple of solid hits. I couldn't keep track of him. That's because he completely disappears and reappears in a moment's notice, the Hyuga said as he looked at the sleeping boy. Even with my bloodline it would be difficult to fight against. It is truly a great asset to Konoha. Iruka-kun, are you hurt? Anko said as she walked seductively up to him. Iruka groaned as he tried to get up but was pinned down by Anko. Anko-chan, the Hokage said as he puffed on his pipe with a smirk. Please control yourself. Thank you, Hokage-sama, Iruka said with truly thankful eyes as Anko nodded to the old man but sat down next to Iruka and started to heal his minor wounds. Iruka nodded his thanks to Anko, who slightly blushed. At least let us get Naruto out of here, the Hokage joked as he picked up the smaller boy. Now you can enjoy. With that the remaining Jonin shunshined away, leaving them along. Anko turned a predatory grin to Iruka, who was already sprinting away. I just love the chase, she said to herself, as she got up slowly and brushed off some dirt from her skirt. Then with a sing-songy voice she yelled out. Iruka-kun, where are you? Naruto groaned again as he tried to lift the chopsticks to his mouth. It has been 2 months since he started his private training. He was currently in Ichiraku's getting his fill of ramen before heading home to get prepared for his first day back to the academy. He would be going back on the day of his final exam. It was do or die this time and he had to pass. Over the last 2 months Naruto was put through some of the hardest and most miserable training that he ever experienced or thought was possible. He started his first week with Iruka, who taught him his style and flair. He became active when thinking on the run and changed up his stance with every swing. He became so efficient that he never fought the same way twice. Iruka started to fight back towards the end of the week, which bowed bad for the young blonde who took a good beating after the first day. But at the end of the week he was able to not only block, but return at the same time. His bamfing was becoming second nature as he was now using it at will for even the petty things. He kept true to his word and made sure that no one found out, but the Anbu are still looking for the one who dyed all the Anbu robes bright orange. Hokage was a little upset but let it slide. Naruto's pranks didn't end there. He became rather a nuance without limits. He stole all the towels out of the girl's bathhouse. That was Kakashi-ni-san's idea, but it was enjoyable to see. Naruto smirked at remembering the stampede of partly women chasing some guy with hair as he cursed every kami in existence. Naruto then trained with Asuma, who taught him to better hone his sporadic strategy, helped him come up with a way to do that. He was truly good at feints, and Naruto picked up on a bunch of new tactics using his wisp clones, he dubbed it himself, as great decoys and setups for more devastating attacks. He then started to practice against the crazy snake lady, who was extremely upset that she wasn't getting enough time with her Iruka-kun. The true meaning behind that was he slowly became a human pin cushion as he used his new powers to becoming better at dodging and evading. He found out that he can take one other person with him on his port, as he was constantly saving Iruka-ni-san from the stalking snake lady. It took a large pull on his chakra, but he was becoming efficient at getting them out of sticky situations. Such as the one he is currently being paid for now. Iruka looked down at his empty wallet and sighed. Naruto would have chuckled, but it hurt too much. For the last part of training he had to deal with the strangest man he ever met. But that further solidified that every strong ninja had some sort of weird mannerism that set them apart from others. Wearing bright green spandex and his strange haircut was minute to the speeches he gave about the flames of youth. Besides that, he was a brilliant man who was teaching Naruto everything he could want to learn. Over the last 2 months he grew close to his crazy family of senseis, and couldn't be happier. He was still in a lot of pain from his last spar with Guy. He couldn't believe he couldn't even land a finger on the green-clad man. Naruto's gloves now were up to almost 75 pounds each. He was moving slower as he was still sore, but he was getting used to the new weight. Through his training he ruined every one of his orange jumpsuits, so he had to kind of get a new get-up. He currently was wearing orange sandals with blue tapped ankles. He then had orange track pants that were held up with a blue robe belt that was tied off to the side. Tucked into his pants was a bright white shirt with an orange swirl in the middle, and over that was an orange jacket, turned vest revealing his toned and muscular arms after the sleeves were ripped off. The tattered jacket looked styled that way, and everyone seemed to think it fit him well. He still had his goggles around his forehead that was pushing his long blonde hair skyward. He groaned again as he dropped the chopsticks. He seemed to have broken another bone in his hand. It was one of the cost of his training that he became used to. It was a daily thing: train till you can't move, then go and find something to eat, then go to Anko-chan in the dango shop and see if she can set any of the broken bones received by the senseis that day. She would gladly do it as long as he wouldn't play escape rope for Iruka-kun every time she was stalking him. "You ready for tomorrow, Naruto?" Iruka asked as he slurped down some of his noodles. "Yeah, I can't wait," Naruto yelled happily as he fist pumped. "I can get that headband and then I can finally stop hiding. You will be getting another sensei after tomorrow," Iruka said as he looked over at his favorite student. "You better give him or her everything you got. They won't be as lenient as me. I wish I could just join Guy-san's team," Naruto said as with a slight frown. "Then I could really learn a bunch from him. You just want to actually land a hit on him during your spars," Iruka said with a smirk, and Naruto to frown. "It's no fair," Naruto said. "He can just move so fast that even with it, I'm still too slow to even graze him. It's just so frustrating. I'm sure he will be up to spar you whenever you guys are both free," Iruka said as he rubbed the blonde spiky hair. Naruto's frown slowly lifted and he was smiling again as his big brother made him feel better. "Then you can surprise him with newer techniques." "Yeah," Naruto said as his eyes bore the flames of youth. Before he could start to spout the nonsense, Iruka slapped the back of his head. "He was with you for a month and almost completely corrupted you," Iruka said as he groaned into his hands. "Please try to keep that talk between you two. Your flames just keep on dwindling," Naruto said under his breath as he rubbed the back of his head. "Who do you think I will get?" "Can't say till tomorrow," Iruka said with a smirk as he got up and started out of the ramen shop. "See you tomorrow and try not to be too late. I still can't believe out of everything to learn from Kakashi-san you picked up his tardiness and reading habit." "I enjoy these books," Naruto said as he pulled out a small orange book from his vest. He tried to open it, but his broken hands was making him wince, so he placed it in his vest again and patted it, as he giggled perversely. "It's got a good plot and..." Yeah, Iruka said with a smirk. You're lucky all Kurenai-san broke was your fingers today, huh? She called me a pervert, Naruto said with a mock sad face. When really I'm just a hopeless romantic. Hee hee hee. Uruka-kun, screamed a voice down the street. Uruka paled as he looked over to his one escape route. Naruto smirked as Uruka ran over to him begging him to get him out of there. Naruto turned back to the front as the flap to the ramen shop opened and in walked a grinning Anko. Found you. Now Naruto, Uruka begged as he stood behind Naruto and had a death grip on his jacket. Please don't let her. Naru-kun, Anko said softly. You are in between me and my prey. I have a proposition to make, Naruto said still grimacing under the nickname his favorite sister gave him. Anko's eyebrow arched as Naruto raised his broken hands. Can you undo what Kurenai-sensei did? And what do I get out of it? Anko said as she walked forward already healing her little brother's hands. Naruto sighed happily as the pain subsided and he looked up at Anko whose eyes changed from concerned back to predator mode. Well, Naruto said as he flexed his fingers and smiled happily up at Anko. I will let you have your chase tonight. Uruka tried to get out but was cut off as Anko lunged at him and grabbed him by his vest and started to drag him outside. Naruto, how could you? You know what you fail tomorrow. Oh, Naruto looked up with a raised eyebrow from his book. Did you say something? You're late, screamed Mizuki as Naruto walked through the door. Not even glancing up from his book, Naruto answered back, which caused the entire classroom to face fault. I was helping a stray cat out of a tree when I noticed that I landed on a crack in the ground, Naruto said with a smirk. So I had to walk backwards and retrace my steps to my apartment to get rid of the bad luck. Liar, yelled half the class, causing Naruto to shrug and look for an open seat. He found one next to Hinata who seemed to be holding back a rather large blush. So, Naruto said looking over at Hinata who, EPED. What did I miss on my 2 months out? You Hinata said as she looked Naruto over, not once, but twice. Blood slowly fell from her nose as she landed on her desk passed out. Naruto chuckled and glanced around noticing that most of the girls in the class seemed to like the new toned and reveling Naruto. So this is what it's like to have fangirls? Naruto whispered to no one, but was answered by the sleeping sloth in front of him. That is why I stay UTR, Shikamaru said with a smirk as he rose his head just enough so you could see his eyes. And what's UTR? Naruto said as Mizuki started in on his lecture for the test they would be taking. Naruto pulled out his book and thumbed through it as Shikamaru groaned and leaned back. It's a technique that has kept the Naras out of the public eye for as long as we've been around, Shikamaru answered with a smirk. We keep ourselves UTR, or in other words, under the radar. Naruto and Shikamaru shared a slight laugh which was short-lived as Mizuki yelled at them to pay attention. Naruto continued his reading till Hinata groaned and woke back up. Naruto smirked at her as she cleaned the small bit of blood from her nose and turned away from Naruto. Naruto finally understood the reason she got so worked up and couldn't help but keep messing with her. She would get used to it hopefully or die from blood loss. Naruto put his book away and stretched his toned arms and wrapped one around Hinata's shoulders, causing her to take a sharp intake of air and freeze in place. Yes, today was going to be fun. Okay, so first up, Mizuki said with a smirk. Written exam. Damn it, Naruto swore under his breath. After Naruto finished copying his answers. Finished his test, Naruto joined the others outside for their field exam. Naruto smirked as the numbers were called out for sparring partners. Naruto got lucky and was going to be fighting Mizuki-sensei. Finally a little payback for those stupid written exams. How was any of that going to be useful in the field, he didn't know. Naruto walked over to the training circle when it was his time. He looked around and didn't see any of his family of sensei, so he might be able to sneak a quick preview to his class of what he really could do. Naruto got into his stance, causing others to laugh how unorganized he looked. Naruto knew that without his technique the style wouldn't do anything for him, but with it he was beyond most chunin with taijutsu. Naruto waited for his sensei to start the fight when he felt a disturbance in the force. Naruto jumped back as two kuni landed right where he was before. What did I say? Came a voice from behind Naruto. Naruto turned to see his big brother standing there with a dangerous look in his eye. Come with me, the Hokage wants to talk to you. What? Naruto yelled as he looked up at Iruka with pleading eyes. Every eye in the class was on the two of them. Mizuki had a triumphant smirk on his face as if he won something. Hinata looked ready to jump in to help Naruto, but Shikamaru placed a hand on her shoulder and calmed her. But I didn't do anything, honest. Come, Iruka said as he started to walk away. Naruto followed him as they made their way towards the Hokage Tower. Iruka started to chuckle and turned back towards Naruto. I think we scared your class pretty good, don't you? Iruka said with a grin. And you played it perfect. What are you talking about? Naruto yelled as they made their way into the Hokage's room. We had to make it seem like you failed your genin exam, Iruka said with a smirk. We have intel that we received about a traitor in the academy. Your first mission as a Kohona ninja will be to wait for him to approach you and ask for your help. Once done, you will complete the job to the best of your abilities and then we will arrive to take out the traitor. So you want me to do what this guy asked? Naruto said with raised eyebrow. What if I have to kill someone? Doubtful, the Hokage said. You know how to incapacitate without the need for killing, utilize that to your advantage. And how will you guys know where to find me? Naruto asked, now taking this more seriously. I think we will be able to find you just about anywhere, came a voice from behind Naruto. Naruto turned to see Kakashi Ni-san reading his book in the doorway. We just have to follow our nose. Fine, Naruto said as he looked back to the Hokage. Where do I start? Naruto sprinted through the woods at top speed. Apparently the Hokage didn't tell the Anbu that he was on a secret mission. They were hunting him down like there was no tomorrow and he couldn't find a place to hide. Naruto looked back to see that he lost them once again. Not taking any chances, he bamfed to a small shack that he used during hot escapes like this one. He panted a bit as he leaned against the old shack. He must have been further than he thought he was because that jump took a bit out of him. Naruto sat down and stared at the scroll that was around his back. When Mizuki-sensei came to him in the playground, he first thought he was actually trying to comfort him. Then he dropped the ball, so to speak, when he thought he could silver tongue his way into getting the scroll. Naruto couldn't wait for Kakashi Ni-san to kick his. That will show the 2-bit traitor. Well, Naruto said to himself as he looked at the scroll. I do have time to kill. Naruto smirked as he rolled the scroll back up. There was too much to even comprehend in that scroll, but one seemed to be very useful. The Kage Bushin, the shadow clone. He managed to complete the jutsu in under 10 minutes and found himself bored again. So he dived back into the scroll and found a way to cause said Kage Bushins to explode. Naruto found out the hard way that they cause a rather big explosion and stopped training after that. Naruto continued on and found one more Bushin that was rather useful and not as deadly. The Flash Bang Bushin. It was simple, take Kage Bushin, add a pinch of charged chakra, and hold a huge light show that will cause blindness, deafness to everyone in a 10-foot radius. Naruto looked around and noticed that Mizuki would be here anytime now and he had to get ready. Popping off a few clones and having them charged and ready, Naruto waited in the clearing in a sitting position while his clones hid themselves in the woods. He heard a wizetling and jumped out of the way of the kuni that landed right where he sat. Naruto looked up and noticed a tired-looking Mizuki. What the hell is going on? Mizuki asked as he looked down at the blonde. What are you talking about, Mizuki-sensei? Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow. I got you the scroll like you wanted. I pass now, right? Don't give me that shit. Mizuki yelled. I was thrown about this forest like a rag doll by who knows how many Anbu, Jonin and your stupid brother of yours IR. He couldn't finish that sentence as one of Naruto's clones surprised him with a flashbang, causing Mizuki to be launched from the tree disoriented and clawing at his now bleeding ears. You like what I learned? Naruto asked as Mizuki started to scream loudly. Oh, that's right, you can't hear me. I said, do you like what I learned? What was that? Mizuki yelled, not able to hear his own voice. Naruto chuckled as he noticed that Mizuki was screaming profanities at him but was still unable to hear himself. Finally having enough of it, Mizuki pulled out a kuni and got into his stance. Naruto stopped chuckling and became serious as he got into his unorthodox stance, which caused Mizuki to smirk confidently. There was a slight cough and Naruto looked up and there was his family. They all watched the unaware Mizuki as he was about to face off with their son, brother, nephew. Should we help him? Iruka asked, looking down with much concern. Anko appeared behind him and wrapped her arms around his waist and held him close. Uruka sighed a bit and smiled down at Naruto, who gave them the thumbs up. Should we help who? Asuma said with a chuckle as Naruto's eyes glazed over and he disappeared only to appear behind Mizuki. Asuma's eyes widened as he noticed that there was 2 Narutos instead of his usual one. When did he? A Kage Bushin, Hokage asked, but was answered as the Bushin blew up just as Naruto placed him and, bamfed, away. Mizuki was thrown forward by the blast which caused his back to catch fire. Naruto, bamfed, in front of Mizuki and delivered a bone-shattering punch to his sternum. Mizuki coughed up blood as he was launched into what appeared to be another clone that blew up, causing more damage to Mizuki, who landed in a heap of smoldering clothes and burnt skin. Naruto stood to the side and brushed himself off as he picked up the scroll. Naruto walked over to the Hokage, who landed in the clearing along with the others. Hokage Gigi, Naruto said with a smile. Your mission is complete. Can I have that hat now? Naruto, you did well, the Hokage said with a smile as he puffed on his pipe. But first you need to have a forehead protector. Naruto, Uruka said with a smile as he removed his headband and held it out. You've made me very proud, little brother. Naruto grabbed the headband with tears in his eyes. He finally got it, he was officially one step closer to becoming the Hokage. Naruto placed it over his forehead and tied it tight. The straps were a little long and came down to the center of his back, but Naruto didn't care, in fact he liked it better that way. Naruto turned back towards the smoldering remains of Mizuki, who was groaning from pain as 3 Anbu picked him up. Now for payment, the Hokage said as he hefted the large scroll into his hands. Since you took it upon yourself to look into the forbidden scroll and then proceeded to learn 3 techniques, you will receive none. The jutsus will suffice as payment. But Gigi, Naruto yelled. I wanted ramen to celebrate. No buts, Hokage said as he disappeared with a shunshin. Naruto continued to rant about the clearing, popping off clones, sending them to go blow up a tree or 2. Clearly amused by the situation, the Jonin all laughed at Naruto, which caused him to become more angry. Naruto, I will take you to celebrate, Uruka finally said with a smile as the blonde looked back at him with tears of joy. Anko looped her arm through Uruka's and turned towards the other Jonin. I think we should all take out our Naru-chan for doing so well, Anko said as Naruto frowned at the name. That way I can steal Uruka-kun away when no one is looking. Uruka said as he slipped out of Anko's grasp and grabbed onto Naruto's shoulders. Meet everyone there, now Naruto. You got it, Naruto said as his eyes changed color and Anko made a dive for them. Damn it all, Anko cursed out as the smoky outlines mocked her ATEMPT and slowly disappeared. Come one Anko-chan, Kurenai said as she and Asuma started to walk away. We know where they are going. My youthful rival, yelled Guy. We must have a race to see who can get there. Did you say something? Kakashi asked as he giggled perversely. Guy started to cry and followed Kakashi as they followed Asuma and the girls. Naruto sat down in the same seat as yesterday and ignored the comments coming from the kids who passed the first time. Naruto nudged Shikamaru, who stirred slightly and smirked at Naruto. So how was the private mission? Shikamaru asked softly as he yawned. Naruto looked at him with a raised eyebrow, wondering how he got that. Please, you truly believe that I couldn't tell the difference when you lined up with that type of taijutsu stance? Only one who knows exactly what they are doing would do something like that. Then you dodge 2 kuni from out of nowhere and Uruka shows up to take you away. You don't have to give me any details, but I'm glad you made it. I would have hated to become dead last in class, then paired off with the duck butt over there. I heard that, yelled said duck butt. Shut up, Tem. Naruto yelled back as Sasuke scuffed and looked away. And, Choji, who was on the other side of Shikamaru, still munching on chips. Now the best news of all, we get to see the Deadlast outshine the Rookie of the Year. Can't wait. You guys really don't think I will be on the same team as him, do you? Naruto asked as raised an eyebrow. Whose team did you want to be on, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked as she joined the conversation. Naruto turned and smirked at the princess. Naruto, trained under the watchful eye of his brother Kakashi, has taken a whole new appreciation of the true beauty that is our female counterparts. Hinata was truly beautiful to him and he wasn't going to let her slip by his fingers for that stupid crush he had on. What was her name? Oh yeah, Sakura. But he wasn't going to just up and take her out on a date or something, he was going to do his own game of flirting. Why? I would want the most beautiful girl in the class, Naruto said as he cast a foxy grin which Shikamaru picked up on. Hinata's shoulders slumped as she knew he wanted Sakura, but was shocked to the bone when she felt Naruto's strong, bare arms wrap around her shoulders once again and pull her close. I want to be on your team, Hinata-chan. And she made it to about 30 seconds this time, Choji said as he handed over the money to Shikamaru. I thought she would have made it the entire minute. How long you going to continue to torture that to the poor girl? Shikamaru asked as he pocketed the money. She's completely smitten over ya and you keep messing with her. I can't help if a small bit of flirting causes her to pass out, Naruto said as he laid her gently on his shoulder. But I have to break her of it soon. Okay, so let's place bets, Naruto said as he looked over at Shikamaru who smirked. Of his many favorite things to do, gambling was becoming one of the top 5. It was fun to play the odds and usually take home more than he left with. I bet that you will be the new Ino Shika Cho combo, Naruto said with a smirk. While I get placed with Shino and Hinata. Why those two? Shikamaru asked with a raised eyebrow. Well, Naruto said as he looked around. With my blood limb we could become the best assignation espionage group around. I would take you instead of Shino, Shika, but I think they are hard set to make that trio come alive again. Fine, I will take your bet, Shikamaru said with a smirk. 20 ryos. Deal, Naruto said as they shook and in walked Iruka who looked a bit worse for wear. He was sporting new love bites on his neck and what looked like a gash across his cheek. Seems he got caught again. Iruka-sensei, are you alright? Asked Ino as she looked him over. He just was raped, Naruto yelled out as he flipped a page in his orange book. He ducked in time to dodge the eraser that was thrown at him. Naruto wasn't expecting for the eraser to bounce off the desk and slam into the back of his neck. Hey, Iruka said with a confident smirk as curses filled the room from Naruto. Still got the ol' throwing arm. Anyway, today we will be dividing you into teams and giving you your Jonin-sensei. Team 1, Iruka started after a long and boring speech about how they are ninja now and whatnot. Naruto wasn't really paying attention as he thumbed through his book. Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Kiba Inuzuka. Your Jonin-sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. Genjutsu Specialist Team, Naruto commented to Shikamaru. Sho nodded slowly. The Uchiha have been known for some of the strongest genjutsu out there. And Kurenai Ne-san is the best in Konoha. Then explain the reason for Kiba. Shikamaru asked looking at him. Even with Sasuke and his hand-to-hand ability, Naruto said. They will need someone to go in for the kill or protect them as they cast. It's quite a strong team. As long as they protect each other's backs it will work. Team 8, Shino Aburame, Hinata Hyuga, and Naruto Uzumaki. Your Jonin-sensei will be, Iruka said as he looked up with a groan. Kakashi Hatake. Yes, Naruto yelled. We get Guy Ni-san's eternal rival. What better way to become stronger than Guy then train under his eternal rival? Iruka said as he scratched his head. Right, Team 10. Don't even say it, Iruka-sensei, Shikamaru said as he handed Naruto his 20 ryo. Troublesome blondes. Naruto flipped another page in his book and giggled perversely as they waited for their sensei. Hinata had awoken a while ago and was making small conversation between her and Shino who was sitting next to her. Shino was a bit too quiet for Naruto's taste, but he didn't mind the stoic attitude, nor his ability to use bugs as weapons. Naruto watched out of the corner of his eye as Shino navigated a bug around a series of patterns on his desk. It was as if he was training him to communicate with another ninja by walking out different signs they used to direct in silent missions. Naruto looked to see Hinata was still a bit red-faced from his comments earlier. So I made it onto the team I wanted, Hinata-chan, Naruto said with a small grin as she blushed when she heard the chan. Mttoon Naruto-kun, Hinata said meekly. Naruto leaned back in his chair, not taking his eyes off his book, and put his arm around her shoulders again. She turned beet red and even Shino seemed a bit amused. Team 8, said a voice at the door. Kakashi looked up at his team and I smiled. Kakashi Ni-san, Naruto yelled out. I can't wait to get strong under your guidance, my flames of youth will outshine Guy Ni-san's. Did you say something? Kakashi said as he looked up from his orange book. Naruto face-palmed but smirked at his brother. Meet me on the roof. Let's go, Naruto said as he stood. Okay, so let's start by introducing ourselves, Kakashi said as he put away his book. You likes, dislikes and whatever. I will go first I guess. My name is Kakashi Hatake, have no intentions of telling you my likes and dislikes. As for my dream, I have a few hobbies. Nice Ni-san, Naruto said as he flipped a page in his book with a slight blush. Shino looked perplexed and Hinata was just confused. We only learned your name Kakashi-sensei, Shino said in a calm voice. Kakashi waved him off and motioned him to go next. Fine, I'm Shino Aburame. I like to study different species of bugs and using them in my combat. I dislike bug zappers, Naruto jutted in. Pesticides, Kakashi said with a slight smirk under his mask. I dislike people who interrupt someone when they are speaking, and I hold grudges. My dream is to become as capable clan head as my father. Shino finished giving both Kakashi and Naruto death glares as they seemed to mirror each other in the turning of a page in their books. A slight buzzing was heard from under Shino's coat and before anything could escalate Hinata spoke up. My name is Hinata Hyuga, she said calming the situation. I like me right Hinata-chan, Naruto said with a foxy smile causing her to become a completely different shade of red. Naruto K-kun, Hinata said looking at him then turning back to Kakashi. A and cinnamon buns. My dislikes A or P people who don't look for the good in people and judge too quickly. My dream is to become a strong clan head and protect those precious to me. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto yelled standing up giving the victory sign. And I like ramen, my new family, and the flames of youth. I also really like Hinata-chan and I'm starting to like Shino. Whatever, Shino whispered under his jacket. Hinata was long since passed out and Kakashi snickered. My dislikes, Naruto's voice changed, losing his joyful tone he had a second ago. Well, anyone who treats someone like crap for no reason. My dream is to become the best Hokage ever so I can also protect those precious to me. Oh, and write my own series of books. Hee hee. I like that dream Naruto, Kakashi said with a perverted laugh as well. Anyway, we will be doing one final test. Tomorrow at training ground 7 at 8, okay. Oh, and don't eat breakfast. Why not Kakashi sensei? Hinata asked as she pushed her fingers together after waking up. You'll just throw it up if you do, Kakashi said as he vanished in a swirl of leaves. Hey guys, Naruto said as he turned to the two of them. Eat breakfast. Trust me on this one. Having a little nutrients is better than none, Shino said in a matter-of-fact way. It is only logical that sensei as if we would just blindly follow orders or use our heads. It's a pretty good tactic I would say. Why you're right Shino-san, Hinata said as she looked over at Naruto. IIW would think. Never mind. No, what do you think is going to happen? Naruto asked as he put a hand on her shoulder. Hinata looked up at the two of them. Shino nodded for her to continue and Naruto's helping hand on her shoulder gave her a new sense of ease. She felt more herself, and felt like she didn't have to second guess her idea. Well, I would think that if we were to go up against a Jonin, Hinata said. Naruto rose an eyebrow and glanced at Shino who, too, was shocked. That we need to work as a team. We will need to go over everyone's specialties and we can come up with a plan of attack for different scenarios. Brilliant idea Hinata-chan, Naruto yelled as he picked her up in a hug. We will pass definitely now with your beautiful, youthful ideas. You're the best. Naruto-kun, Hinata said with a giggle. Why you're embarrassing me. Oh, forget what people think, Naruto said as he set her down and turned towards Shino who gave the slightest of nods. Right Shino, if people think you're weird, they can screw off. For once, Shino said as the outline of a smile could be seen. I agree, they can screw off, as you so put it. Hee hee, Naruto said. You're all right Shino, so I say we plan our attacks over food, ramen here we come. Naruto and the others arrived at the training grounds after meeting for breakfast. They were 2 hours late and it seemed they were still early. Naruto flopped down on the ground next to the training post and proceeded to pull out his orange book. No Naruto, Hinata said as she slapped his hand away from his pocket. You shouldn't be reading that. It's bad. But, Naruto said giving the best puppy dog face he could. Hinata just looked away from him with a huff. Naruto sighed and put his hands behind his head. Fine, you win. Whipped. Shino whispered under his breath. Naruto cocked an eyebrow at him but didn't say anything in retort. Hey, he was, and nothing he could do about it. Ah, team, Kakashi said from behind them. I see you arrived on time. Hope I wasn't too late. Nah, we just got here, Kakashi-ni-san, Naruto said a bit irritated. Kakashi smiled at his little brother. He would ask what was up later, but now it was time for the test. So the test, Kakashi said. He always loved this part for some reason. Torturing the young genin is like a pastime. Kakashi pulled out 2 bells and presented them for them to see. You have till noon to get a bell. If you don't retrieve a bell, you fail and go back to the academy. Cool, Naruto said as he leaned forward. We planned for this kind of test. Well, the test is not entirely the right scenario, Shino said, adjusting his glasses. But that plan should work. The timing might hurt us, Hinata said as she stood and activated her bloodline. We should hurry then. Oh yeah, Naruto yelled as he stood as well. I need to let out some stress, I hope you're ready, Ni-san. Shit, Kakashi said under her breath as he tied the bells to his belt. First, I have a questions. What plan? Well, it starts like this, Shino said as a swarm of bugs erupted from his sleeves, causing Kakashi to jump back but was intercepted by Hinata, who was attacking fluidly with her gentle fist. Kakashi noticed he was being pushed back towards the swarm of bugs that were coming straight for him. Then out of the bugs came Naruto, charging headstrong as ever. Hinata jumped back as Naruto appeared in front of him with a smirk. And ends like this, said Naruto as Kakashi threw a punch. Naruto dodged and latched onto the outstretched arm as Kakashi's eye widened. The flashbang clone caused Kakashi to become disoriented, and he flashed through hand seals and let loose a huge stream of fire in circle that would buy him some time. Naruto landed next to Hinata, who reactivated her dojutsu. Shino appeared behind them and they looked down at Kakashi, who was slowly recovering. Leave it to me, guys, Naruto said as his eyes slowly turned to silver. Remember that surprise I was going to show you guys? Yes, Hinata said, staring at him as he turned back and smirked. Well, here it goes, Naruto said as he bamfed away, causing his 2 teammates to go slack-jawed. Naruto was everywhere at once, and Kakashi was having a terrible time blocking all the punches. He started to guess where the next strike was coming from, but he soon found that Naruto's style was so uncommon, so sporadic that he had no rhythm. He was almost impossible to predict, and his only advantage on him right now was experience. That proved to be not as helpful as hoped when he was again punched by a spiked glove. Then it all stopped. Kakashi looked down and noticed that he was beaten when Naruto tossed both bells to his teammates. You guys did great setting him up and letting me get in with that flashbang clone, Naruto said with a smile. Naruto, Hinata said with a smirk. We worked as a team. If only 2 of us pass, then it's not a team. Kakashi-sensei, I will forfeit my bell. I concur with Hinata, Shino said as he threw his bell at Kakashi, who couldn't be happier. You guys did great, Kakashi said with his patented eye smile. You guys pass. Yes, Naruto yelled as he bamfed up to Hinata and picked her up and bamfed back. Hinata was a bit dizzy from the sudden movement, but nevertheless was smiling happily as Naruto spun her around. Now I need each of you to know what type of team we are, Kakashi said as they sat around a small table in barbecue joint they picked for their celebration lunch. We will be an assassination espionage team. Each of you has a skill set that benefits this team. Now first is going to be weapon. Shino, you will be training close with a friend of mine in the art of poisons. You two will discuss the weapon you get on how well you do. Hinata, I know your clan is proud of its gentle fist, but in this team you will need a weapon, you will learn to use this. Kakashi pulled out a tanto that was sheathed in pure black sheath. Hinata's eyes widened a bit as the blade was set in her hands. She slowly pulled the blade out and held it a bit in front of her. The blade was perfect in every way. That was my first tanto, Kakashi said with an eye smile. You will do it proud. Now for my younger brother. Oh, let me guess, Naruto said, jumping up and down. A katana, oh I know, a great spear. No, Kakashi said as he set a scroll on the table. Nothing big would suit your fighting style. You needed a more personal approach. These will be perfect for you. Oh, what is it? Naruto said as Kakashi unsealed the scroll. Laying on the table were twin-bladed tonfas. The handle was wrapped in orange wrapping and the blades themselves were a dark black hue in color. Naruto picked one up and noticed that the placing of the handle made it so that he still had about 3 inches of blade sticking out in front of his fist while the other tip reached just past his elbow. This would make his fist even more deadly, causing even more stabbing damage. Naruto picked up both and slowly spun them in his hands. It felt like the first time he bamfed, almost unnaturally good. He smirked at Kakashi, who was happy to see that his choice of weapon would suit his fighting style perfectly. Naruto slipped them into a makeshift sheath that Kakashi handed him. He wrapped the ties so they were positioned in the middle of his back for quick grabbing. "We will begin weapons training after lunch," Kakashi said as he sipped his tea and opened his book. Hinata's eyes twitched as she saw the book in his hand. Naruto was slowly reaching for his when Hinata turned to him. Naruto quickly started to scratch his chest and picked up some food, avoiding her eyes. "So," Kakashi said as he pulled out a 2 kuni and faced Naruto. "She doesn't like you reading the Great Ik series." "No," Naruto whined as he paced back and forth spinning his blades in his hands. "She just doesn't understand the beauty of it. I mean, they're works of art." "Hey, you're preaching to the choir," Kakashi said as he got into his defensive stance. "How do you get away with it around people?" Naruto asked as he bamfed and struck behind Kakashi, who blocked the attack. "I mean, no one gets mad at you. And girls still seem to like you as well." "Well," Kakashi said as Naruto bamfed into his side and then back to the front, confusing Kakashi a bit. "That's because I'm single, and well, are you two seeing each other?" "I wish," Naruto said as he slashed low and bamfed again to his side and attacked high, catching Kakashi in the arm, causing him to wince in pain and call an end to the quick spar. "But you're whipped enough by her to not read your beloved novels in front of her," Kakashi said with an eye smile. "Yeah," Naruto said as he got back into his stance. "Let's hurry, I have to catch up on said reading after this training is over. Oh, and by the way, who did you dump the other two on for their one-on-one training?" "Hehe," Kakashi smirked as he spun his kuni. "Well, Hinata should be fine with Hayate and Yugao, but it's Shino I'm kind of worried about." "Why?" Naruto asked as he attacked only be kicked back and looked at the wicked eye grin Kakashi had. "You didn't leave him with. I will have my vengeance," Shino swore to himself as he dodged kuni after kuni as the deranged women chased him throughout the dense forest. "I'm stuck with you, brat," yelled the voice from behind as a kuni hit next to his head against a rather large tree. While my Iruka-kun could be hit on by some random bimbo. "You're borderline stalking him," Shino cursed himself as he saw his attacker lick her lips. "I mean, run," she said calmly. "Run very fast. I can't believe you left him with her," Naruto said with a laugh after they finished their 4-hour-long training and were walking back to their meeting spot. Both had their books out and reading, not really paying any attention to what was happening around them. "Well, she is the best poison expert we know," Kakashi said in his defense. "If Shino can become as adept as her, then he will have no equal in that field. With his insects he can inject any amount of venom into his enemies without any traces of evidence. Not someone we want on our bad side, huh?" Naruto asked as they both flipped a page. Then it hit them, and both of their heads shot up to see a pissed off Aburame. His coat was completely torn apart and revealing several deep cuts and burn marks on his white chest. "Vengeance," he said calmly with sadistic smile. "Oh, it will be mine. Oh, look at the time, adieu," Naruto said with a quick bamf, and he was gone, leaving a scared Kakashi. "So, learn anything new?" Kakashi asked as the sound of thousands of small wings filled the air. Kakashi gulped as he put his book away and slowly reached for his headband. He wasn't sure what Anko-san would have taught him, but by the look in Shino's eyes, it couldn't have been good. "You could say that," Shino said with a sadistic laugh. Naruto ducked a swiping strike from Hinata as she continued her assault with her tanto. Naruto returned a strike to her side which she parried away, followed by a quick slash that nicked Naruto's shirt. Naruto looked down and noticed his white shirt was cut almost in half, revealing his chest. Naruto raised an eyebrow at Hinata, who was blushing slightly. "Enjoying the view?" Naruto asked as she almost lost all of her composure in her stance. Naruto-kun," she whined as she got back into her stance. "I actually missed." "Huh," Naruto said, now out of his fighting stance, which Hinata took advantage of by attacking. What were you aiming for? That stupid book you like so much. Hinata exclaimed as he shrieked in fright and subconsciously grabbed his vest pocket while blocking a strike with his tonfa. How could you, Hinata Haim? Naruto asked as he noticed her stutter step from the new name. Naruto smirked as he made his move, knocking her blade aside and stepping in close and resting the tip of his tonfa on her flat stomach. You cheated, Hinata whispered with her eyes narrowing. Why you flirted with me? That was a cheap distraction. Well, Naruto smirked as he stepped even closer, inching his face closer to hers. What are you going to do about it? Hinata stuttered out, her face becoming extremely red. Well, I guess I could make the first. Naruto started before receiving a quick Junkin strike in his stomach. That's what you get for cheating, Hinata said, suppressing a giggle as Naruto rubbed his stomach and took a couple steps back. A slight chuckle was heard and they looked over to see Shino was waiting for his turn to spar. Wow, Naruto said as he kept rubbing his stomach. Did my ears deceive me or did Shino show emotion? Naruto, Shino said, his high collar hiding his grin. If you really want to test me, you are more than welcome to. Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head with a scared laugh. Shino smirked as Hinata started to chuckle at them. Shino took Naruto's place and squared off against Hinata, who raised her tanto in front of her. Naruto walked over to where Kakashi was watching the sparring while reading his book. Shino-san, Hinata said with a proper bow and brought her tanto up in a stance she was slowly mastering. Shino returned the bow and pulled out his weapon that was given to him by Anko-sensei. They thought long and hard on what would be suitable and they came down the choice he had now. It was a twin-blade sword. The sword was just shorter than Shino and the handle of the blade took up about a foot in the middle of the blade. The handle was wrapped in green silk and the blades themselves had what looked like golden leaves etched into both. Shino was taught 3 different ways to apply his poisons or bugs to the blade through the handle, which added to the deadliness of the blade. Shino twirled the blade and rested it against his back, bring up his other hand and motioned Hinata to attack. Shino seems to like his new weapon, Kakashi said as he watched Shino block attack after attack with his twin blade. Hinata's training with the Hayate and Yugao had paid off in folds. She was becoming increasingly better the longer the fight. She was able to pick up on styles and slowly apply the countermeasures without them knowing before it was too late. Hinata smirked as she ducked under the arching swipe from Shino and struck twice. Once was a quick cut to his jacket across his side and the second was downward slash across his back, quickly ruining his jacket. What is it with you and addressing everyone? Naruto asked as he flipped a page in his book only to be hit by a large amount of killer intent. Hinata crossed her arms over her chest and tapped her foot on the ground. Hey, you hit me with a cheap shot so I get to read. HMPH, Hinata said, taking her tanto and putting it back in her sheath. Looking back at Shino, who was holding up what was left of his jacket with a rather frustrated expression. Sorry Shino, I got a little carried away. It's perfectly fine Hinata-san, Shino said as he threw the jacket over his shoulder. Shino was wearing a skin-tight black t-shirt with a green leaf in the middle. His skin every now and then would raise and settle from the moving bugs within sight of him. Shino, why do you wear such a heavy jacket anyways? Naruto asked with a turn of a page. Shino looked over at his blonde friend and held out his bare arm. The moving under his skin made it look a little weird, but it settled again and his skin was fine. We tend to frighten others with our symbiotic relationship, Shino answered. Most people don't like that and we rather not cause any discomfort amongst the ignorant. Ha! Naruto laughed out and put away his book. Well, I can relate. Most don't like the looks of me for some reason or another. Naruto-kun, what do you mean? Hinata asked and Naruto's face darkened a bit before he waved his hand dismissively. Don't worry yourself Hinata-hime, Naruto said, making Hinata blush even more. If I ever figure it out, you guys will be the first to know, but till then we just won't worry about them. Well, it seems that it's time for new uniforms, Kakashi said as he stood. Since we are going to be taking our first mission soon, I want you guys to be outfitted well. Follow me. They made their way into what could be called a small shack that was on the outskirts of town. The shop was filled with several rolls of cloth and silk of different colors. Naruto looked around and noticed that there were no pre-made clothes. This must be a custom tailor shop. Out of the back approached a little old man followed by an even smaller old lady. They looked up at the four that entered the shop and bowed. "It's the damn pervert again," yelled the old lady with smile. She had large rimmed glasses that hid most of her wrinkles around her brown eyes. Her hair was pulled into a high bun with two long sharp needles in them. She was wearing an elegant white robe with a floral design. "Kakashi-san, it's been too long." Haha, the old man laughed as his wife hugged Kakashi, who I smiled at the two. He was bald with a long white beard that touched the floor. He was wearing an elegant red robe with black trimmings. "You're looking old, Kakashi-san. Too much stress will do that. And you're still not looking too young yourself, Lang-san," Kakashi said as he motioned over towards his genin team. "This is my genin team. Guys, this Lang-san and his wife Lily-chan." "So you finally passed a team," Lily said with a smirk. "This must be a sign. Oh, next he will be getting hitched and," Lang continued but was cut off as Kakashi put a hand on his mouth to shut him up. "They need proper attire," Kakashi said to Lily, who smiled. "I will be paying for 3 complete sets for each genin, big order." "Don't let your husband's stupidity ruin it, Lily-chan." "Shut your mouth," Lily yelled as she clubbed her husband in the back of the head. Lily grabbed Hinata's hand and pulled her away. Come, I help you now." "Ow," Lang yelled as he rubbed the back of his head. "Stupid old women. Come on, I will start on you guys." It took 4 hours for them to be fitted, measured and final fitted. Lang found it humorous how Naruto wanted to keep orange in his uniform. The old man came up with a simple design which caused Naruto to drool. He was outfitted with black sandals with blue tape around his ankles. His pants were burnt orange with black tiger stripes and had a tattered edge around his waist. It was held tight by a dark blue sash that was tied off to the side. He had a dark blue silk shirt with a burnt orange swirl in the middle. The sleeves of the shirt were torn off, leaving the tattered effect as well. His open vest was like the Chunin vest but dark orange in color with the same black tiger stripes. The vest was styled like his old one with a tattered sleeves and collar. Naruto changed his headband color to the same dark orange and it lengthened so once tied that the extra reached his lower back. Naruto holsters for his tonfas were strapped to his back with the handles up in the ready. Naruto grinned in the mirror as Shino appeared besides him and smirked as well. Shino was completely different. He was no longer wearing a concealing jacket. Instead, in his place was a tight green t-shirt. His arms had loose green bandings that covered from his hands to his elbows. Over his shirt was what looked like a battle-ready vest that was unbuttoned with a higher collar hiding his lower face, much like his old jacket, except the front of his face. The vest was dark green with dark gray and green stitching and a giant leaf stitched on the back. His Anbu-styled pants were dark gray with black and green stitching around the pockets. He had steel-toed boots that his pants were tucked into that were black in color. Shino's twin blade was strapped onto his back at an angle. Shino adjusted his glasses and looked at himself and gave a satisfied nod. "Lookin' good, Shino," Naruto said as they looked at each other in the mirror. Naruto swung his arm over Shino's shoulder, who shook his head. "While you still can't let go of your orange fetish," Shino answered with a slight smirk. "We're an assassination squid yet you want to run around in, look at me orange. The greatest hunters on the planet use this very color in the wild," Naruto answered with a foxy grin. "Really?" Shino said with a scuff. "Of course," Naruto said as they looked at the mirror. "The great tiger of Konoha. Kinda has a nice ring. Or the beautiful orange beast." "No," yelled a voice from behind them. "You will not be another one to fall into that youth-filled cult." "Fine tiger of Konoha it is," Naruto said as he smiled at Kakashi, who was shaking his head. "What, all the best ninjas have nicknames? But we have only done D-ranked missions," Shino said as he moved out of Naruto's grasp. "You can't become known by only doing those. You have to wait for your first A-ranked mission before people can actually call you anything besides stupid." "Hey!" Naruto yelled, baring his fangs. Naruto-kun, settle down," said a calm voice hiding from behind Kakashi. Naruto turned to Kakashi, who was smirking while said Hinata's head poke out from behind him. "Why are you hiding, Hinata-hime?" Naruto asked as he looked at her with a smile as she blushed and hid back behind Kakashi, who snickered. "Come on out, Hinata-hime, we want judge." "Fine," Hinata said as she took a step out. Naruto flew back in a massive nosebleed as Shino even blushed a bit. "Naruto-kun. He's fine," Kakashi said as he placed a hand on her shoulder. Hinata was wearing a light lavender long-sleeve shirt that hung loosely over her, revealing her shoulders. The shirt was cut short as well, revealing her flat and toned stomach that was covered by matching color fishnet undershirt. Her low-cut, skin-tight pants had several holsters strapped to them that seemed to be filled with various throwing instruments. She had dark boots that had what looked like lavender laces. She had a vest that was light lavender on the outside with white rabbit fur on the inside. She put it on, and it only covered her upper half, still leaving her stomach open to view. Her tanto is attached horizontally on her back and the sheath was changed from black to a dark purple. She walked over to Naruto, who was slowly getting to his feet and wiping his nose. Hate it when that happens, Naruto grumbled to himself as he heard Kakashi laugh in the background. Hinata, you look amazing. Thank you Naruto-kun, she said with a slight blush as she looked him over as well. You look quite handsome as well, Naruto-kun. You too Shino-san. Thank you, Shino said as he turned towards his sensei who was smirking. Let's go and get our first actual mission, Kakashi said. He paid and said goodbye to the elder couple. Team 8 arrived in the Hokage's office to see Iruka sleeping on a desk next to the Hokage, who was reading a small orange book. Naruto smirked as he walked slowly towards the sleeping form of Iruka. The Hokage smirked and hid his book in his desk as Naruto slowly made his way to the sleeping Chunin. Naruto took a deep breath only to be slugged in his stomach by said sleeping man. If, Iruka said as Naruto rolled on the floor gasping for air. You ruin my only hour of sleep, I will beat you senseless. Anko-chan keeping you up? Kakashi asked as he received an evil glare from Iruka, who had several small love bites on his neck. I don't want to talk about it, Iruka said as he leaned back in his chair. Kakashi smirked as he turned to the Hokage. Team 8 reporting for our mission Hokage-sama, Kakashi said with a bow. Well, let's see what we have today, the Hokage said as he looked over the scrolls on his desk. Seems Tora has escaped again. Damn cat, Naruto exclaimed only to be slapped by Hinata in the arm. Don't be mean, she scolded only for Naruto to humf and look away. Whipped, Shino whispered under his breath as he adjusted his glasses. Naruto whispered a curse back but went unnoticed as Kakashi stepped forward. No Hokage-sama, Kakashi said with an eye smile. They are ready. They are now, huh? Hokage said as he pulled out his pipe and studied the group in front of him. Seems to be okay. Do a shadow mission. I sent Team 7 on a C-ranked mission 2 days ago. We got word that they might have ran into some trouble. I want you guys to observe from the shadows and see what you can do to help them accomplish their mission. The more discreet the better. This will be an A-ranked mission for the sole reason that we have apprehended 2 missing nin Chunin already. Anybody we know? Kakashi asked as he tilted his head to the side. Demon brothers from Mist, Hokage said with a puff of his pipe. You know who they are in with, so that is why I'm sending you in now. Understood, we shall leave immediately, Kakashi said as he bowed with his team. Happy hunting Team 8, Hokage said with a grim look. You are dismissed. Good luck Naruto-kun, Iruka said with a serious voice. When you get back we will take you to get some ramen, as long as you do good. Alright, Naruto yelled as he hugged the sore Iruka, who winced lightly. Make sure our whole family is there as well, Iruka-ni-san. Oh, and I'm gonna bring Shino and Hinata as well. When did she become Hinata? Iruka asked, causing both kids to blush. Moving through the woods at top sprint can take a lot out of most genin teams, but Kakashi wasn't slouching with their training. They had weekly stamina training with Gai-ni-san's team, that seemed to be paying off. They stopped when Kakashi held up his fist. Kakashi looked around and silently sniffed the air. His eyes widened and he moved forward and motioned for Naruto to follow. Kakashi looked back and silently motioned for Hinata and Shino to secure the location ahead. Hinata activated her bloodline and moved quickly with Shino in tow. Naruto turned to Kakashi, who gave him a serious look, then his classic eye smile. This was going to be fun. Naruto and Kakashi approached the main highway that was about 100 yards away when the first noise could be heard. There was a loud scream and the sound of metal meeting metal. They doubled their speed and made it to the outskirts overlooking the scene before them. Sasuke, said Kurenai-ne-san. She had a kuni out and was facing a large man wrapped in bandings. Over his shoulder was a giant sword that looked like a cleaver, that he seemed to handle with ease. I won't let anything happen to you. Now I need you to get back into formation. I will take care of this. Seems like we have a bigger problem than we first were told, Kakashi said just below a whisper. Get them out of there then back up if you can. He is out of your league so stay to quick in and out. Let me and Kurenai handle him. Naruto nodded and his eyes glazed over. As a copy of the big guy charged the genin group with his sword ready to swing. Naruto appeared in a bamf, shocking everyone as he unleashed a series of slashes and stabs causing the clone to dissolve into water. He turned and smirked at the group. Hey guys, Naruto said as he spun his tonfas. Fancy meeting you here. What are you doing here dope? Sasuke asked a bit relieved at the sight of the dead last. And how did you do that? All will be answered in time, Naruto said as he made a series of clones into exact copies of the group. Now if you will I will be taking you guys to cleared place. What are you talking? Sasuke started, but Naruto just huffed and bamfed him first. He arrived next to Shino who was standing next to a large tree. What the hell was that? He's your problem now, Naruto said with a smirk to Shino who just sighed as the blonde disappeared only to reappear with Kiba and Akamaru a second later. Kiba was just as wide-eyed as Sasuke. After everyone was brought to the safe location Naruto looked around. Where's Hinata Haim? Naruto asked looking around. I'm here Naruto-kun, Hinata said from a tree across from him. Okay you guys watch over them, Naruto said with a smirk. I have to go and take help Kakashi-ni-san. You better not get hurt, Hinata said as she continued to watch the battle with her bloodline. I swear I won't do anything stupid, Naruto said as Shino only faced clammed. Well too stupid. Wait dope, Sasuke demanded. How are you doing that? Doing what? Naruto asked with a smirk as he bamfed away. Sasuke started to curse and Shino just huffed. This was going to be annoying. Too cool, Kiba said in awe as Akamaru barked in agreement. Sakura was a bit shocked as well and nodded in agreement. Guys spread out and be aware, Hinata said in a serious tone. There is someone else out there, staying just outside my field of vision. I think that he might know we are here. Who left you in charge? Sasuke sneered. Shut up Tem, Kiba said as he sniffed the air. Hinata check our south, I just picked something up. He's moving closer, Hinata said. Seems to be a hunter nin, defensive position around the bridge builder. Do not engage unless we are attacked. I will cast a genjutsu to make us harder to spot, Sakura said as she started to fly through hand signs. There. Sasuke you apply another backup. Sasuke answered as he flashed through a series of different hand seals. Nice, Shino said as he pulled out his twin blade causing Sasuke to raise an eyebrow. Now please continue with your mission and set up a defensive position around the bridge builder. Let us handle what happens next. Kakashi sighed as he blocked another attack from Zabuza. Kurenai suffered a nasty cut on her shoulder and was now supporting from a distance, which was better for Kakashi anyways. He didn't want her hurt or else Asuma would skin him alive. Then he heard the sound he was waiting for the entire fight. Zabuza's eyes widened in pain as he looked down and saw 2 stab marks on his side and a wispy shadow of orange. Then he felt the same pain on the other side as he stumbled back. What the hell Kakashi? Zabuza screamed as he held his bleeding sides. There was a bamf, and beside Kakashi stood a kid who was holding 2 bloody tonfas. The tips dripping blood over his hands and slowly falling to the ground. You were looking tired Kakashi-san, Naruto said as he twirled his tonfas cleaning some of the blood. Thought I could, you no lend a hand. A genin, Zabuza stuttered out with disgust. You little pest. Oh, Naruto said as he bamfed behind Zabuzu but was clocked Arcos the face by Zabuza's heel. Naruto spun in the air and landed with a puff of smoke. Shadow clone, Zabuza said then chuckled madly. He's skilled. Well, Kakashi said as he reviled his Sharingan. Let's finish this. Kakashi and Zabuza attacked full force, as Naruto appeared next to Kurenai who was breathing rather heavily. Naruto pulled out a roll of bandages and wrapped her shoulder tightly and cut the extra. Kurenai nodded her thanks and Naruto smirked and pulled out his book. Kurenai looked away and gritted her teeth. She turned back to see Kakashi was about to finish him off when a hunter nin appeared after striking Zabuza in the neck. The hunter nin said something to Kakashi before taking off in a swirl of leaves. Naruto looked over at Kurenai with a raised eyebrow as Kakashi turned towards them and scratched the back of his head before promptly passing out backwards. Naruto faced palmed and teleported and picked up his brother. So what exactly is your mission? Kurenai asked when they arrived at Tazuna's house. The old bridge builder was more than welcome to invite all the ninja back. More protection for free, he couldn't pass that up now. To watch over you guys and help out if you guys get into a sticky situation, Naruto said with smile as he wrapped his arm over Hinata who blushed an all-new red. Well, it seems that since Kakashi is out I am in charge for a while, Kurenai said with an evil smirk. And that means training. Damn it, Naruto said as he put his head on the table and almost started to cry. What's so bad, Naruto-kun? Hinata said as she rubbed his back. She's going cast that stupid genjutsu that makes it impossible to read my book. Naruto complained. Hinata smirked and looked up at Kurenai. I might just like your style of training, Kurenai-sensei, Hinata said with an evil smirk of her own. Damn it all. Naruto cursed under the table. This is the stupidest thing I have ever done, Naruto complained as he stared at the cut-up tree in front of him. Why do I have to do this if I can just, bamf, up to the top? Naruto, Kurenai said as she pinched the bridge of her nose. It isn't about getting up the tree, it's about learning to control your chakra. Still doesn't seem useful to me, Naruto whispered as he ran towards the tree. He made it just higher than his last try before he had to flip backwards and land on the ground. Naruto-kun, Hinata said continued her spar with Shino upside down on the branches high above him. You need to concentrate on centering your chakra to your feet. You just need enough to stick to the tree. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong, Naruto said, sarcasm dripping from every word. Hinata dodged Anther punch from Shino, only to toss a kuni at Naruto who yelped and jumped out of the way. Okay. They seem to be enjoying themselves, said Kakashi as he leaned on his crutches. Naruto tried and failed again after a steady stream of curses and him, bamfing, back and forth on the ground uncontrollably. His control is terrible, Kurenai said as she put a hand over her mouth watching the blonde throw his tantrum. He seems to have just too much chakra to control. Yeah, that's why he needs this training the most, Kakashi said watching Naruto focus and charge again, getting nowhere. We were so focused on getting him used to his dojutsu that we disregard the basics. He will get it down, Kurenai said as Naruto took out his tonfas and started to slash at the large tree, chipping wood off of it, releasing his anger. How is my team doing? They just got back from the bridge safe, Kakashi said as he stepped forward. I believe it will be quiet for at least another week. Good, Kurenai said as Naruto fell on his back with a thud. Curses filled the air that even caused Kakashi to raise his eyebrow. He will need it. Must have learned that from Anko-chan, Kakashi said as Naruto got up with a fiery look in his eyes. He charged forward screaming something about youth only to trip and go head first into the tree, knocking him out. And there's Guy-san. Naruto-kun, Hinata said as she dropped from the branch and landed next to the groaning Naruto. He will be fine, Hinata-chan, Kurenai said after walking over to them. Let's head back for dinner. Shino-san, can you carry Naruto? I could, Shino answered as he started to walk away, causing the others to face fault. Shino-kun, Hinata said, giving him the puppy dog eyes. Shino didn't have to look back, he only lowered his head and walked back to pick up the passed-out troublemaker. I still can't get this, Naruto said to himself as he stared at the tree. It has been 4 days since they first started on this exercise and Naruto was still having trouble with the concept. He managed to apply too much chakra, blowing apart his old tree, which caused him to smile at that particular failed attempt. Now he was dialing that amount down till he found the right amount. Naruto fell backwards with a tired sigh. A nap would do him well after the 4 hours of straight training. Naruto stared at the green canopy above him and his body slowly relaxed. If you sleep out here too long you will catch a cold, said a soft voice that stirred Naruto from his slumber. Cleaning his eyes, Naruto had to do a double take. In front of him was young woman. She had long black hair that cascaded against her pale skin. Her big brown eyes bore into him with a type of stare that he read about in his novels. She was beautiful in Naruto's opinion and he had to keep himself in check. For one, he didn't know this person that was able to sneak up on a Shanbi, sleeping or not. 2. Hinata Haim would kill him. Naruto slowly leaned forward and looked at what the woman had in her hands. She seemed to be collecting herbs, and from his time with Anko-chan he knew that they were for pain relief and faster healing. Thinking quick, Naruto pulled on his facade smile. Thanks, Naruto said with enthusiasm. I'm Naruto. What's your name? Haku. Haku answered in her soft voice as she smiled back at him. Well, Haku, Naruto said as he stood and measured himself up. She was slightly taller than him, but then again, who wasn't? She had the reach on him if he was to engage her right away, and he still didn't have a lot of chakra. Naruto pointed at her basket in her arms filled with herbs. Since you helped me, I guess the least I can do is help you pick herbs. Oh, why thank you, Haku said with a kind smile. They stared at each other and dared the first one to make a move. What were you doing out here? I was training, Naruto said with a smile and took the first step. He kept her to his side, not exposing his back. Kakashi taught him that mistake the first time they trained, that hidden technique shouldn't be allowed on anyone under the age limit. I'm a ninja from Konoha. Oh really? Haku asked as she walked next to him as if countering his move. Naruto smirked to himself, his assumption was close to correct. Of course, he could just be paranoid, but he had a bad feeling about this. Why are you training? So I can become Hokage. Naruto said, turning fully to Haku, who mirrored his action immediately. It was becoming a shogi match. Why do you want to be Hokage so bad that you would endanger yourself in just training? Haku asked as if she never has seen such an act. Naruto let out a steady laugh as he leaned down and picked up some herbs from the ground and twirled them in his hand. I'd rather be the one hurt than the ones I care about, Naruto said seriously. I have a bunch of people I want to make sure I can protect, and the only way to do that is to get stronger. Your precious people, Haku whispered as she turned away, giving him a shot at her back. It was a daring move, almost baiting him to attack. Naruto instead tapped her shoulder and she turned towards him slowly. Excatly, Naruto said with a smile as he handed her the herb he picked up. And I see you have the same motivation for someone else. Haku's eyes narrowed and the temperature started to drop around the two of them. Naruto's smile never left his face. He let go of her shoulder and held the herb up a bit more. He twirled it between them, showing the small white flowers and little seeds on them. This will cure infections and help close wounds, Naruto said as he looked from the herb back to the girl. Such as scrapes, burns, cuts, and stabs. A useful herb, Haku said, eyes never leaving Naruto's. Yup, Naruto said as he dropped it in her basket. The herb hit his basket and time stood still. Naruto turned and started to walk away, causing Haku to gawk at him. What are you doing? Haku choked out. Naruto looked over his shoulder. Make sure he is 100%, Naruto said with a smirk. Cause Kakashi will be, and you seem like a nice girl. I don't want it to be too easy for me when we meet again. What is your full name? Haku asked, now regaining her composure. Naruto kept walking with a slight chuckle. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto answered calmly, then yelled. The tiger of Kohona and future Hokage. Weird, Haku said as she walked away from him with a smirk. But cute. So you sure it was another ninja? Kakashi asked as he sipped his tea. He was almost completely healed, just a bit sore in places. Yeah, Naruto said as he flipped a page in his book. She acted like Naomi in Ika Ika Volume 2. When she had to infiltrate the hidden spa springs. Really? Kakashi said with a perverted giggle. So? No, Naruto answered with a flip of the page. I couldn't imagine what Hinata would do to me if she found out. Still good to dream, right? Kakashi answered as he sipped his tea again with another giggle. Naruto only nodded his answer in response. What are we looking at? Kakashi asked as Kurenai entered the room. What do you mean? Naruto asked, looking at him crossly. What information can you gather from your experiences? Kakashi asked, causing Naruto to look up with a puzzled look. You are in an espionage group. Gathering intel with the slightest clues is going to become second nature. So, with that said, what can you tell me? Okay, Naruto said, putting his book down and drummed his fingers on the cover. It took him a minute, then his eyes lit up. First, we know she is a range fighter. She was able to strike with deadly precision from a location unknown by the Jonin in the area the first time we met. So that makes her fast and silent. She uses the Senbon needles as the weapon of choice. One doesn't get that good with a weapon without having a bit of fetish for it, Anko-chan prime example with the kuni. Right-handed by the way she held her basket and has an ability to blend well in the crowd. I would rank her chunin or low jonin. Nice, Kakashi said as he looked over at Kurenai who nodded with approval. Now go and rest. I have to get back to training, Naruto said as he pocketed his book. Kurenai gave it an evil look. I'm really getting the hang of it. On the way out of the room he ran into Kiba and Sasuke who were facing off against one another. They seemed to be in the middle of settling a disagreement when the two lashed out at each other in the open training field. Naruto looked over and saw Sakura teary-eyed, sitting next to Hinata and Shino. So why is Duck Butt and Dog Boy fighting? Naruto asked when he appeared next to Shino. Sakura jumped a bit from while the Hinata only smiled. Well, it seems that Sasuke Tem, Shino said just over a whisper, has shown some extreme ignorance and has insulted Sakura's skills at Genjutsu. Kiba, having enough of his attitude, slugged him across the face, causing Sasuke to fly outside. And here we are. Interesting dinner I've seemed to missed, Naruto said as he crossed his arms. And don't listen to him, Sakura, he's just on some ego trip again. Your eyes have finally opened to see it. Hey Kiba. What's up? Kiba asked as he jumped back from one of Sasuke's swings, putting a safe distance between them. Hey, I need some more help with that stupid tree walking, Naruto said, walking out in between the two fighters. If you're done wasting your time with the Tem, I could use some pointers. Naruto-kun, Hinata questioned and was about to take a step forward when Shino put his hat up. He's diffusing the situation peacefully, Shino whispered, causing Hinata to nod her head and step back to Sakura, who dried her eyes and looked at the two of them. Sounds like you're asking for help, dope, Sasuke spat. You're weaker than I thought. Asking for help doesn't make one weak, Sakura said as she crossed her arms with a cold stare that would give Kurenai a run for her money. She turned to Kiba and dropped the glare. Kiba, thank you. You're a pack member, Kiba said with Akamaru barking in agreement. We look out for each other. Naruto, let's roll, we got a lot of practice to get to. Sure, Naruto said as Akamaru jumped into his arms and Naruto grabbed Kiba's shoulder. Kiba smirked and they were, bamfed, away. How does he do that? Sasuke yelled. Why does a weakling like him have the ability to do that? Let's go, Shino, Hinata, her hands shaking a bit in rage. I might not be able to control my actions if I keep listening to this trash. What did you say, half-breed? Sasuke asked, looking at Hinata, who continued to walk away. Sakura looked between them and Sasuke, who was staring at her. Sakura made the decision that would forever be remembered. She turned her back on Sasuke and followed Hinata and Shino, not even shedding a tear. Sakura caught up to them and could hear a slight angry buzzing sound escaping Shino while Hinata had a stone-cold look. Sakura knew they were upset from the comments from Sasuke, and she felt ashamed for being on the same team as him. They stopped at an open area that they used for training and turned to each other. Sakura, Hinata said as she looked over at her. I'm only going to say this once. If you want to be our friend, there is one thing you can't do. What is that? Sakura asked at the crazy statement. Well, Hinata said as she crossed her arms over her chest. Naruto, he's mine. You can look, but can't touch. Huh? Sakura asked Shino, face palmed. Are you guys a couple now? Hinata said as she looked away, face flushing. Not really, I mean he hasn't asked yet. But I know he will soon. Okay, Sakura said, giggling. I promise. Good, Hinata said with a confident smirk. Do you have any restrictions, Shino? Sakura asked with a mischievous smile. Am I not allowed to flirt with someone? No, Shino said, waving his hands in front of him. I'm just as shocked as you. But no, the only thing I ask is don't get weirded out by symbiotic relationship. I'm not a fan, but I won't get weird, Sakura said. Now what are we going to do for training? Well, Hinata said, looking back at her. Since we don't really know too many different genjutsus, we were hoping you could teach us a couple of ways to detect and stop them. Then we will work from there. Okay, Sakura said as she smiled at them. But I must warn you, Kurenai-sensei has said that my abilities, for some reason, are harder to detect. All the more better, Shino answered as he crossed his arms. If we can detect and stop yours, others will be easier. You can also improve yourself by finding a way to become almost undetected by practicing on people who know you're about to cast a genjutsu. One thing, guys, You are already in one, Sakura said confidently as the ground gave out and both Hinata and Shino tried to break it. How did you do that? Hinata asked as she looked over at Sakura who helped her to her feet. I didn't even see you do hand seals. Well, I have a small genjutsu that I learned that blurs the sight for a second or two, she said as she walked back to her spot. In that second I can form the necessary hand seals without you knowing. Wow, Shino said pushing up his glasses, truly impressed. And the Tem called you weak. You ready for round 2? Sakura asked with a slight blush. The other two nodded. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is relax, Kiba said from his position next to the tree. Akamaru had the same problem. Just let it happen, don't force it. Wow, Naruto said as he walked up 2 steps using Kiba's advice, then his third rocketed him off the tree and into another. Damn it all. Close, Kiba said as he helped him to his feet. Listen, after we get this down I do have favor to ask. Sure, Naruto said as he rubbed his head. If I get this down you can get whatever ya want. Well, Kiba asked as he looked around, I always wanted to learn to use a weapon. But with my clan's techniques I have trouble using anything. I want you to help me find a weapon that suits my style. That could be fun, Naruto said as he stood up and stretched. I was only given one because we are an assassination and espionage squad. When we get back I can ask Anko Ne-san. If she isn't busy she will help. Cool, Kiba said as he fist pumped as Akamaru barked happily. Let's get you up that stupid tree. Naruto and the others were eating around the dinner table, each talking happily. Sasuke was sitting at the end staying out of conversation, not looking over at them. Kakashi was flirting with Tsunami while Tazuna was drinking happily. Sakura and Hinata were in deep conversion on how her Byakugan can see the genjutsu. Sakura wanted to find a way to stop that and Hinata was going to prove her wrong. It started a friendly rivalry between the two who were seen constantly training now. Shino looked over at Naruto who was eating quickly. Slow down Naruto, Shino whispered. You're going to get sick. I can't, Naruto said as he took a big gulp from his water. I have to get the tree walking down. I'm almost done. You're still on that dope, Sasuke said with a cocky laugh. I finished it yesterday. Your point, Naruto said raising an eyebrow. Hinata and Sakura got it the first day, and Shino the day after. You beat the dead last by a day. You still haven't done it, Sasuke said, eyes narrowing. I will today, Naruto said with a smirk. My flames of youth are burning with the fire of several stars. I will succeed tonight. Whatever, Sasuke said, scoffing a bit. Why do you even try? Yelled a voice. Inari showed up and threw his little bitch fit, which caused Naruto to raise his eyebrow. Gato will just send someone stronger and kill you guys. Quit bitching, Naruto said, looking at him coldly. I've been through too much to just lie down and die at the hands of some overgrown mummy. I will stop this man, then I will see to it that Gato is stopped. You have my word. I never go back on my word. So if all you're going to do is sit around and cry about what has happened and refuse to not change what is happening, you can get out of my way and leave me to my own death. Inari watched in awe as Naruto stood and walked out of the room. Inari was shaking in both anger and shock, he couldn't believe what he just heard. Kakashi put a hand on the young kid and gave him a slight eye smile. You have to understand one thing, Kakashi said to him. He's had a very rough childhood and he doesn't believe in no-win situations. So when he sees people just lay down and take whatever happens next makes him extremely upset. You could learn a lot from him, but first you must learn to believe in yourself. Finally, Naruto shouted happily as he looked down at the ground from the top of the tree. That will show the stupid Tem. With that, Naruto started to do his happy dance only to fall to extreme chakra exhaustion and pass out. He was falling to the ground when he was caught out of the air by a Hinata. She stroked his forehead and checked if he was okay before she brought him back. Hinata was confronted by Kakashi, who was smirking at her as she blushed. So you were? Kakashi asked, looking at her with an eye smile. Spying? No, Hinata said, looking at the wall. I was merely practicing my espionage skills when Naruto passed out. I caught him and brought him back. But he did get it, just like he promised. He can climb the tree. Very good, Kakashi said as he roughed up the sleeping blonde's hair. Naruto was wrapped in covers and snoring slightly. Tomorrow will be a busy day, leave him to rest. I want you and Shino to stay out sight. They still don't know about you two yet, and we need to play that to our advantage. Where do you want us stationed? Shino asked from his position leaning against the wall, arms folded. Stay under the bridge till the fighting breaks out, Kakashi said as he motioned them out of the room. They walked to the table where Team 7 was waiting. I will be joining Team 7 on the bridge. Sakura, I want you to be glued to Tazuna, nothing is to happen to him. Kiba and Akamaru, you will be in charge of Team 7 after Kurenai and I engage Zabuza. Why him? Sasuke yelled out, smashing his fist into the wood table. Enough said, Shino commented, pushing his glasses up a bit. You want to take this outside, bug boy? Sasuke asked. Shino gave a slight chuckle, but the buzzing of his Kikaichu seemed show that he was indeed ticked. Oh, Shino said calmly. You don't want that. Sasuke, Kurenai said, giving him a look. Kiba's in charge. Next, Kakashi said as he looked at them. He will be using the mist technique he used last time. That is why Kiba will be telling you where he will be attacking from. Hinata and Shino will jump in as soon as you guys engage his partner. She will more than likely attack you guys using the mist. Hinata, you will intercept her before she gets close to Tazuna. Kiba, as soon as that happens, you and Sasuke will be allowed to help. Shino, you will be in charge as soon as you make yourself known. Stay just in range of both battles. I want you to be able to assist either company in a moment's notice. Everyone ready? Yes, Kakashi sensei. They coursed as Sasuke, HN. The next day Naruto awoke with a groan. He was extremely sore as he stretched his neck. He looked around the room that he shared with Shino and noticed that he was gone. Naruto yelped. He overslept again. Naruto ran around the room putting on his clothes and picked up his headband. He jumped out the window and landed on the tree, sticking the landing. With a smirk, Naruto took off into the woods towards the bridge. He couldn't believe that he was running late, and that they wouldn't wake him. What the? Naruto asked as he looked down. There was a large puddle of blood and a slade bore a few feet away. Naruto landed and checked it out. The cuts were not made by any hunting tools and he could tell that it was killed for fun. Naruto turned back towards Tanu's house and sighed. Shit. Now we don't need both of them, do we? Asked one of the thugs. He had his blade resting on Inari's throat. If you kill him, I will. Tsunami started to say, only to disappear. The two thugs gawked at that and turned to see Inari stare back at them. Then Inari smirked and exploded. The two thugs were launched outside where they landed next to 3 Naruto clones. The thugs, moving slowly from the extreme burns and cuts, got into a fighting stance. The first Naruto clone jumped forward, exploding in a flashbang. Disoriented and blinded, the two thugs didn't see the other 2 clones flank them. The 2 clones grabbed hold of them in a strong hold and smirked. You should never have threatened anyone precious to me, Naruto said as he walked out of the tree line. Naruto then appeared in front of them, slashing quickly across the stomach and jumping back as the clones exploded. Inari came out of the tree line with Tsunami, who were both smiling. Thank you, Naru-kun, Tsunami said. Somehow Hinata told her of his favorite nickname and it stuck. You saved us. The hero in the story always shows up just in time, Naruto said, giving his nice guy poise. Inari walked up to him crying. I wasn't strong enough. You did great, Naruto said, putting a hand on his shoulder. You gave me the perfect distraction, just like we planned. Wah, Inari said, wiping his tears. Now I have to get to the bridge and save the day. Naruto said with a smirk. Inari looked back at his mom, who smiled down at him. Inari ran off, catching his mom by surprise. I have to get the troops together. Inari yelled back. Today we take back wave. Hinata dodged another barrage from the ice mistress as she continued to move forward, hoping to strike her with her Junkin. Haku leapt back only to have to dodge another attack from Kiba as he came barreling by. Kiba stopped his fang over fang and stopped next to Hinata, who was panting. Sasuke launched a huge fire ball which caused Haku to leap high in the air. She flashed through hand signs, launching a barrage of ice needles towards them. They leapt back and into a tight formation with Kiba in the front. Sasuke, Kiba said sternly as Sasuke flashed through hand signs of his own and Haku stumbled backwards before shaking her head. She looked up, but it was too late and Hinata was already in range as she started to slash out with her tanto. Haku, thinking quickly, made an ice sword and countered her and stabbed it into her gut. Hinata cried out, then was silenced as Haku kicked her aside. Sasuke was next to attack as Kiba got Hinata back to Shino. Shino! Kiba yelled as he dropped Hinata into his arms. She took a stab wound to her stomach. Get her to Sakura, see if she can heal any of it. I will hold this ice bitch off. Right, Shino answered as he jumped back. Akamaru yelped as he was kicked out of his man-beast clone and slid to a stop in front of Kiba, who cursed slightly. This was going to suck. You two have proven truly troublesome, Haku said from behind her mask. Kiba spat blood on the floor as he picked himself up. Akamaru was back with Shino, and most of his jutsus were used in combination with him. Sasuke looked down at him with a disgusted stare. You call yourself strong? Sasuke asked as he looked at Kiba. Get up. You treat your teammate like that? Asked Haku. You are not at all what I thought Kohono Shanbi are like. No matter, give up now. I do not wish to kill you. Like you could, Sasuke said, getting into his stance. Kiba looked crossly at him before getting into his. We will not let you harm Tanuza, Kiba said, his mouth dripping blood and a small bit coming down from his forehead. I will gladly lay down my life to protect him. That's more like the Shanbi I know, she said, lowering her head. That just makes this harder. This isn't good, Kiba said as they were surrounded by ice mirrors. Haku appeared in everyone and pulled out a handful of Senbon needless. It all happened too quickly. The dome was filled with the deadly projectiles and Kiba and Sasuke barely had time to dodge. Kiba took a couple in his shoulder and back while Sasuke was able to deflect most. Kiba looked back at Sasuke, who flashed through hand signs and launched a giant fireball at the mirror. The ending result was Haku standing the mirror untouched. Sasuke gawked a bit and was caught off his guard as another barrage of Senbon filled the dome. Kiba reacted and threw the Uchiha aside, taking several hits from the Senbon. Kiba snarled towards the figure in the mirror, who looked taken aback. Ripping off his jacket, the Senbon needles fell to the floor. Blood lined his entire body from several hits and slowly dripped to the floor. You, Kiba said, looking over at Sasuke, whose eyes narrowed as Kiba fell to one knee, blood loss taking its effect. Kiba coughed and spat on the ground again. You, never hesitate, shinobi know better than that. Sasuke said as he stood up and his eyes hardened. You fool, I'm an Uchiha, an elite. I don't need help from trash like you. That so-called trash, Haku said, shaking her head. Saved your life. I was fine, Sasuke said as he looked at her. Kiba just fell to the floor with a thud. Short tem, Kiba said as he struggled to get up. Don't try it, Kiba, said a new voice. Appearing in the dome, Naruto knelt down and picked up the bloody Kiba. Naruto's aura was giving off a soft red hue. I might get your new clothes a bit dirty, Kiba said, giving him a bloody smile. Naruto returned the smirk and threw him over his shoulder. Kiba grunted in pain as he was adjusted. Don't worry, Naruto said seriously. I will be sure to give you the bill once I get it dry cleaned. Hee, Kiba said as they bamfed away. Naruto appeared next to Shino, who took Kiba off his hands. Shino looked back at Naruto, who had a dark look. Naruto, Shino said as he positioned the now passed out Kiba on his shoulder. Hinata. I know, Naruto's face darkened and a flare of red came over him. His anger was slowly building. I will let you know about her condition as soon as I return, Shino said as he turned away with Kiba. Save some for me. Can't promise anything, Naruto said, his eyes glowing silver. Naruto appeared back in the dome and watched as Sasuke started to deflect all the Senbon thrown at him. Sasuke had an unbelievable smirk on his face. His eyes had become different and Naruto knew what it was. He revived his bloodline within himself. Sasuke was now a true Uchiha and he was going to be even more of a problem. Sasuke looked back at him as his eyes showed the tome in each eye. See what true power is, Naruto? Sasuke asked as he crossed his arms. Sharingan. Naruto just huffed his annoyance as he appeared in front of him, causing Sasuke's eyes to widen. Sasuke still couldn't track his movements. Anger seemed to emit from the raven-haired boy. Naruto still had a serious look as he grabbed him by the collar. Sasuke looked down, shocked as they were both bamfed out of the dome, and Naruto was holding Sasuke over the water at the side of the bridge. Sasuke grabbed the blonde's arm and tried to escape his grasp. If, Naruto said slowly, then he calmed himself down a bit. You are the fool, Kiba sacrificed himself for you. What do you do in return? You spit in his face and say it was his fault. You're whatever. Naruto dropped the screaming raven-haired boy into the water and turned back towards the ice dome. He bamfed back inside. Standing in the middle of the ice dome, Naruto slowly pulled out his tonfas. Haku appeared in the mirror in front of him and stepped out. This will be our final meeting, Haku said solemnly. Only one will leave this dome alive. I hope you can understand. You almost killed Kiba, Naruto said, ignoring her. His anger boiling and his skin started to glow. His silver eyes boring into her with intensity. Hinata Heim. It was like a light switch was hit, and the Naruto that Haku met the day in the clearing was gone. In his place is what could only be described a nightmarish monster. Haku never felt such killing intent in her life. She jumped back into her mirror and watched as Naruto lowered himself to all fours, dropping his tonfas on the ground with a slight clang. Naruto's face was darkened and his whisker marks on his face deepened. Naruto looked up and in a flash he ported right in front of the mirror. The explosion that followed knocked Haku back from her mirror. She looked around and noticed all the mirrors seemed to have exploded at once. Naruto was still in the middle with what looked like a slight tail of chakra growing out of him. Then his silver eyes widened, he flashed forward and Haku was punched square in the face, her mask shattering from the impact. As she flew backwards, she was met by two clones that exploded, launching her back towards the monstrosity that was now roaring with rage. Haku tried to put up a defensive shield of ice that was shattered by one fist. Naruto appeared next to her and exploded again, but this time it was a flashbang clone. Haku's eyes were blinded and she felt another powerful punch to her stomach and she flew into the open arms of another clone. Her vision coming back to her, she saw Naruto standing right in front of her. I'm a broken tool, Haku said as she lowered her head. I have no further use. Kill me. Broken tool, Naruto yelled as he looked at her with a confused look. Zabuza has no further use of me, Haku said looking up at him. Her legs gave out and the clone picked her up bridal style but still locked her hands. Tears streamed down her face. He will no longer need me. Why do you believe that? Naruto yelled as he looked at her baffled. You can't just give up. You have so much more to offer, why would you waste it all for him? He took me in, Haku said looking up at him with tears. He gave me a purpose and family. Now that I've failed to keep him out of harm's way, I am broken. Zabuza doesn't need a broken tool. He needs to be safe. Please Naruto-kun, kill me. I hurt your precious person. That is unforgivable. Fine, Naruto said as he raised his fist back, his evil aura appearing again. Naruto, yelled a voice from behind. Naruto turned to see Shino with his weapon out, stabbing what looked like a thug in the side. We are no longer fighting Zabuza and his partner. What? Naruto asked, turning back to Haku with his fist shaking. She hurt Hinata. And she will be punished, Shino said as he twirled his saber and took out 3 thugs at once with an acrobatic move. But Gato has just turned on Zabuza. Now we are to take out Gato at once. But, Naruto said, turning towards the shocked-looking Haku who had tears falling to the floor. Plus, Shino said as he appeared next to Naruto and placed a hand on his shoulder. Hinata is in stable condition. Kurenai and Sakura have her now. So she will be alright. Naruto asked as he slowly started to revert back to his normal self. Well, Shino said as he pushed his glasses up. She's not out of the woods, we need to get her some serious medical treatment, but she's better. Naruto-kun, said Haku looking up at him. Zabuza has trained me in medical jutsu, let me make up for my mistake. Shino, take her to the others, Naruto said looking down at the enemy ninja. I don't trust her, so if she does anything, kill her on the spot. You have my word, Shino said as he grabbed Haku in his arms bridal style. Haku was extremely weak and broken, but if she is going to die, she would die trying to right her wrongs. Haku looked up at the man holding her and couldn't help but blush a bit. She then refocused herself and turned towards the group that was gathering around young women on the floor. Naruto turned back to where he saw Kakashi and Zabuza facing off against an army of thugs. Naruto appeared behind them and coughed a bit to gain their attention. Kakashi looked back, as did Zabuza. So this is the Jinchuriki, Zabuza said. He looked completely beat and had several cuts and one large gaping hole in his shoulder. I have to say I'm impressed you brought down Haku, not many can. You turned her into a brainwashed weapon. Naruto yelled, not registering the first comment. Tell me why I shouldn't kill you. No, all she ever did was love you like a father. While you just use her to do your bidding and nothing more. What's your name, boy? Asked Zabuza as he coughed up blood on his bandages around his mouth. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto answered in a cold tone. Zabuza chuckled as he turned towards the group. Naruto Uzumaki, repeated Zabuza. You will do great things, I only wished we could have met on different terms. We could have been good friends. There's still a chance, Naruto said as he walked forward towards the mass of thugs. The preformed, the shocking, and out of nowhere was 1,000 clones of Naruto. Zabuza was shocked and stumbled backwards on his butt and looked at the blonde-haired kid. Kakashi chuckled as he too sat down on the bridge. We will finish our conversation later. Naruto, Kakashi said as he covered his eye. Keep Gato alive if possible, I want to question him. You heard him, boys, Naruto shouted. Everyone is free game except Gato. And don't think you can hog all the glory, shouted a kid's voice from behind. Naruto turned to see Inari and what looked like the entire village. Inari shot a single arrow into the group of thugs, striking one of them before the rest of the village charged forward. For wave. Hinata awoke with a groan as she looked around. She was back at her room in Tanuza house, only difference was the added company in her bed. Naruto was sleeping soundly next to her, holding her hand. She smiled down at the blonde as she brushed some of his longer blonde locks out of his head. Naruto stirred and looked around. He was shocked to see Hinata up. Hinata, Naruto yelled as he wrapped her in his arms. I never want you to do that again. Oh, Hinata said, causing Naruto to lean back and look her over to make sure she's okay. Hinata blushed but stopped him. I'm okay, Naruto. Good, Naruto said as he got out of the bed. Sorry for crashing next to you. Kinda got a bit tired waiting for you to wake up. How long was I out? Hinata asked as she looked down at her bandages that were wrapped around her stomach. 2 days, Naruto said, sitting next to her on the bed. Hinata, I almost lost you, and I kind of lost control of myself. What happened? Hinata asked as she grabbed his hand. Naruto shook his head and looked up at her. I don't know, Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head. I just know that Kakashi is bringing me to the Hokage as soon as we get back to Konoha. I hope everything will be okay, Hinata said, sounding kind of worried. Naruto waved her off. It's fine, they just have to show me something, he said. Naruto said. I do have something I want to give you before we go down and see the others. Really, what is it? Hinata asked, tilting her head to the side. Naruto searched his pockets, muttering, where is it? Before he looked up at her. Oh, here it is, Naruto said as he leaned in quickly and gave her a small peck on her cheek. Hinata ept, flushed blood red, and then proceed to pass out on her bed. Ha, still got it. Well, it seems that all is in order, Kakashi said as he, Kurenai, and both teams stood on the bridge. Gato's dead, and now you guys are going to be extremely busy with all the new business. Well then, we shall be in touch. Yes, try to stay in touch, Tazuna said with a smile, stepping in between Kakashi and his daughter. But not too much. Zabuza-san, Naruto said as he looked up at the bandaged sword wielder. He had his arm in a sling and still had bruising around his face. I can't say it was a pleasure. Feelings a bit mutual, Zabuza said as he extended his hand. Naruto shook it and Zabuza pulled him into a sort of hug, but whispered into his ear. I want you to take good care of Haku. She's all I got. She doesn't know she's leaving with you yet. I promise to take care of her just like family, Naruto said with a smirk. As long as you stop by and teach me some of your bad assassination techniques. Deal, Zabuza said, but I have to fix things in Mist first. Once done you will regret you ever muttered those words. Bring it on, Band-Aid boy, Naruto said loudly as he jumped out of his grasp. I hate you, yelled Zabuza as Haku walked forward and bowed to the group. It will be nice to see you all again, Haku said, her eyes darting to Shino then back to the rest of the group. I hope. You won't have to hope for anything, Zabuza said, putting a hand on her shoulder. You will be going to Konoha where they can protect you. I will be back as soon as I can, but till then I leave you with Naruto-kun. He has agreed to take you in his family. You serious? Haku asked, a bit out of character. Her eyes tearing up, which caused Zabuza to wipe his own eye. Thank you, Oto-san. Haku walked over to the teams and stood between Naruto and Shino. Sasuke was still fuming that the blonde dropped him off the bridge and was standing way off to the side sulking, not even caring about goodbyes. Kakashi turned and started to walk with a quick wave over his shoulder, followed by Kurenai and her team. Naruto was talking to Inari while his team slowly started to walk off with Haku in tow. Well, now that the water works are done, said Tazuna, but was silenced as Naruto and Inari started to cry, happy tears. Get going now. Hehe, Tsunami said as she closed her orange book that Kakashi and Naruto got her addicted to. So what are you going to be naming the bridge? How about the Great Naruto Bridge? Inari asked, looking up. His grandfather could only nod. Perfect, Tazuna said as he took a sip of his sake. My masterpiece is named after a fish cake. It will do, I guess.